Welcome to Third Row Perspective by Sadia. Today we do have a very special guest with us, Salman Kabir, who is a former director of Crown Plaza for sales and marketing, and now he is at C-Suite with Rupayan Group. He is the CEO there, and we will start with his journey today and know a lot of thing about him. And welcome to my podcast.
Thank you so much, Sadia, for bringing me along, and I'm looking forward to it for the next 1 hour, the session.
Yeah.
I believe the platform is very interesting. You're inviting career professionals
Yeah.
and academics who would come and share their experiences. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So the motto of this show is inviting the real life successful people. And as I know, যে সাকসেসের পিছনে অনেক স্ট্রাগল থাকে, অনেক মিস্টেক্স থাকে, অনেক কিছু থাকে যেটা হয়তো ডিসকাস করা হয় না, বিকজ উই অলওয়েজ টক অ্যাবাউট সাকসেস বাট মিস্টেক্সগুলোই যে লার্নিং হয় লাইফের. সো উই ডিসকাস দিস থিংস ইন মাই পডকাস্ট.
Right.
And I will be going through asking you such questions maybe where you learned from your life.
Okay, got it.
And as I know that you are a graduate from a British university.
Yes.
So if you can share your background, how it started with the British University to till now, like hotelier to maybe in real estate, it's a completely different shift.
Right.
And your career, when I went through your LinkedIn, it's very diverse, I think. So just share things with us so we can learn from you.
Right. I wouldn't say like the word successful is a very big word, of course. That takes a lot of time, and inshallah, in my journey, as I go along, there will be more opportunities for that word to come in future. For now, I would say, alhamdulillah, wherever I am at my career, I'm doing pretty well. I'm pretty stable. From a early life perspective, if you would like to know, then our educational background, I studied in Green Herald School, which was under Cambridge institution. So from a very early age, of course, I'm a British education under ছিলাম. So when I finished my Cambridge O levels and then A levels টা শেষ করলাম, of course পড়াশোনা pursue করার জন্য there is a norm in English mediums যে বাইরে পড়তে যেতে হবে, and then all the young children always feel like যে এখন is the time we're going to go abroad. But when reality hits you, you realize যে it takes a lot of financial support to go abroad and study for undergraduate. So I clearly remember all my friends, they were, applying and getting offer letters, and I was doing my part. But তখন my father came up to me and he told me যে for him to actually sponsor me at that time, and I'm talking about early 2000, 2004, 3 এর দিকে. He told me যে it's very difficult for him at this point to actually sponsor me for my education. And I was very sad. I was like, oh God, this is it. আমি শেষ. All my friends are going to go abroad. They're going to study in very good universities. আমি তো আর আগাইতে পারবো না লাইফে, বিকজ আনফর্চুনেটলি এইটাই আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং ছিল যে যারা বাইরে পড়তে যায় তারাই মনে হয় খুব সাকসেসফুল হবে. Then I told my dad যে না, it's okay, I understand, and there are good institutions in Bangladesh where you can actually pursue undergrad. শুধু public না, private universities, of course. And then I actually got admitted in North South University under the BBA program, which again, people
It was
would say...
that time very new, right?
It was. Yeah. And we used to be in that Bonani campus. তখন অত স্টুডেন্ট এত নাও হতো না. We were like, per semester, যখন ওই applications দেওয়া হতো, 700 students maximum নিত. And তখনও there was this fierce competition যে আচ্ছা নর্থ সাউথের আগে IBA, if you're into business, যে IBA এর আগে admission test দাও. সব পরীক্ষাগুলো একসাথে হতো. So ওরকমভাবেই we obviously, all the students who stayed back, যারা বাইরে পড়তে যায় না, we pursued. And then I got admitted in North South and I started my journey. And I told my father যে আমি যেহেতু এখানে undergrad শুরু করছি, I don't want to go in the middle somewhere. I would rather finish it here. So alhamdulillah, North South, I finished my bachelor's in BBA with major in marketing and HR.
Okay.
Which is another interesting thing because ওই টাইমেও কিন্তু unfortunately you do not get a proper career path as to which direction you should go. So আমিও কিন্তু just for the sake of it, I felt like dual major করি. বলতে তো পারি না কোনটাতে কি করবো so আমি মার্কেটিং এন্ড এইচআর ইজ কমপ্লিটলি টু ডিফারেন্ট ফিল্ড বাট আই জাস্ট ওয়ান্টেড টু কিপ ইট অ্যাজ আ ব্যাকআপ যে আল্লাহ একটা ফেল করলে তার একটা আছে but again I would like to tell young generation don't do that follow that is your gut feeling যে যেটা আমি ভালো করবো ওটা শেষ করার পরে I got an internship opportunity at British American Tobacco which of course being a multinational company at that time was a very big thing and I was being an intern ওখানে ছিলাম I was under the corporate and regulatory affairs কোরা টিম বলে যেটাকে there were a lot of senior bhaiyas যারা এখন of course they're doing much well career they helped me a lot to guide me যে কিভাবে কি করা উচিত next step and then just when I was thinking যে না এখন career শুরু হবে বাংলাদেশে my father comes up to me and says যে do you want to pursue a master's degree and abroad so I was a little surprised knowing যে বাবা তো bachelor's he told me এখন হবে না it was difficult for him so I said baba কেন এখন হঠাৎ তো বাবা বলছে যে না if you want to go abroad and do your masters I can help you a little bit financially but you at the same time you have to also contribute better because masters er shomoy to you have an opportunity to work as well at the same time so that's how I eventually ended up in UK I researched first to see which are the universities that will help me build my foundation and which is I would like to tell your viewers who are actually listening to me je please do not choose to go to a country just by thinking je okhane settle hobo that is the rule of thumb je please do not do that je ami okhanete to settle hoye jabo so ami okhane jai that is not how you choose your institution for education it has to be what is the field you would like to build your career in and how is that university's academic ranking in that field and thankfully I researched a lot and I realized there are a couple of universities in the UK that would be able to give me that that background in education and তখন UK কিন্তু economy was very bad they were going through recession if you remember
back in 2008 you're talking
2008 থেকে 2010 was a very bad period in UK and trust me everybody told me to go against it do not go to UK and why and everybody said ওখানে তো settle হতে পারবে না and I was like settle এর কথা কোথা থেকে আসছে I'm not even thinking about all that but if you still today if you consider all the UK institutions they're on par with all the big universities in America and UK combined so আমি ওটাই মাথায় রাখছি and given my Cambridge background of course I thought I should pursue education in the UK and alhamdulillah after I applied to good universities I got offer letters from several but I finally selected to go to Warwick University of Warwick and at that time also Warwick kintu was kind of new because তখনও মানুষের মাথায় ইউকেতে Warwick was not set as a university এটা কোথায়
it's still now it's not that much of a popular university because South Asia তে হয় কি যে যেসব ইউনিভার্সিটি easy entry করা those are only popular
right
but there are lots of research based Warwick is a very good research based university
so it's doing tremendously well in rankings and আমিও যখন গেলাম পড়তে তখন their research was doing amazing and of course they were on par with Oxbridge Oxford and Cambridge so আমি ওটা মাথায় রেখেই তখন অ্যাপ্লাই করি and then the taboo nature of Bangalis unfortunately যে আমাকে তখন সবাই বলে কই পড়তে যাচ্ছি এটা তো কেউ চিনে না my own parents came up to me and said বাবা তুই কই যেতেছিস এটা তো কেউ চিনে না যখন ইউনিভার্সিটির নাম বলি আমি বলছি do you trust me and then my father was like of course we trust you I'm pretty sure you're going somewhere you know that it's going to help you and then that's how I did my master's in UK Warwick Business School in 2011 I finished my master's degree in 2012 and when I finished of course next step was now what everybody was আমার ফ্যামিলিতেও যে আমি হয়তো ওখানে থেকে যাব but trust me I did not go to UK with the intention to
stay back there
settle there so the moment I finished my thesis I remember I submitted my dissertation and the next day I had my flight coming back home
wow
the very next day I had my flight coming back home, and I came back. আমি আসি, and I knew I was going to pass, but obviously you need everybody expects a distinction or a merit which will help you. So I came back and I started applying for jobs, Dhakate, to different organizations, and my father was like, do you want to wait? Do you want to see how do you do your results, or do you want to go back? But I always wanted to come back, Sadia. I wanted to come back and work here in Bangladesh. And that's how my work career started in
amazing.
Bangladesh.
I think we need more people like you যারা বাইরে থেকে গ্রাজুয়েশন করে দেশে আসছে, because perception different হয়, work procedure different হয়, because you are now used to with the British culture as well when you came back, right?
Yes.
So that helps a lot to understand many things, resolve many things.
Yeah.
So বাংলাদেশের স্টুডেন্টদের যে কমন কনসেপ্টটা আছে যে এখান থেকে হয়তো আমার ইনিশিয়াল কিছু পেমেন্টস লাগছে, বাট ওখানে যে আমি ম্যানেজ করে নিব। সো অ্যাজ এ ইন্টারন্যাশনাল স্টুডেন্টস হোয়াট ইউ থট যে ওখানে স্ট্রাগলটা কেমন ছিল টিউশন ফি ম্যানেজ করা, বিকজ ইউ মেনশন যে ইউর ফাদার সেড দ্যাট যে ফুললি সাপোর্ট করা পসিবল হবে না, এবং বাংলাদেশের ম্যাক্সিমাম পার্সপেক্টিভে যারা মিডল ক্লাস ফ্যামিলি হয় অর লোয়ার মিডল ক্লাস হয় তাদের জন্য এক্সট্রিমলি ডিফিকাল্ট যে এত লাখ টাকা একসাথে ম্যানেজ করে টিউশন ফিজের জন্য। সো হোয়াটস ইউর সাজেশন ইজ?
I still feel when you're going abroad, do not overpromise yourself by saying যে পুরা financial responsibility নিজের উপরে নেওয়া. Some way or the other, you do need your parents' support. So এটা আসলে in movies we see you go yourself and নিজে পড়াশোনা করে struggle করে পুরা টাকা দেওয়া, wonderful. You see it in movies. Reality is very different. Reality is very different. And of course, I mean, I'm not taking away the credit from people who get full scholarship.
Yeah.
That is a completely different story. If you are that, meritorious student, you are getting full scholarship, absolutely. That's a different journey. আমি ওটা ছিলাম না. I knew যে I need support from my father. And then when I went there, I was better able to tell him যে বাবা আমি কতটা আমি এখানে নিজের জন্য করতে পারবো. So I realized যে living expensesটা কিন্তু you can actually bear yourself. You need to know how much time you can give to work, and at the same time also not compromise on your studies. That is also important. যেটা হয় আনফর্চুনেটলি আমরা দেখি অনেকেই অফার লেটার নিয়ে চলে যায় বাইরে পড়তে, বাট ওই পার্ট টাইম জবগুলোতে এত টাইম দিতে চায় যে পড়াশোনার দিকে তখন টাইমটা দেওয়া হয় না, and which I will never recommend anybody to be considering that. Please give priority to studies first. ওইটা তো longer run is going to help you, no? So part time is good, and it's going to help you to actually ওই যে living expenses টাকে bear করার জন্য will definitely assist you. And I
tuition
think
fee it's about parents or
yes, I would say tuition fees has got to do with the fact that parents are at a financial support লাগবে, and how much you can probably get a scholarship ওইটা through that, because ওইটা মাথায় রেখেই যাওয়া উচিত. If you would take the burden of knowing যে না আমার একটা পয়েন্টে যে টিউশন ফিজও আমার কভার করতে হবে, ওই স্ট্রেসটা না is going to impact your studies, your well-being, physical state as well, because you go there to a new place and you meet new people. ওই জিনিসটা না মানে এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করা হবে না তখন, because you'll be under so much stress of that financial worry যে আমার কীভাবে পড়াশোনার টাকাটা দিতে হবে, যে then you don't get to experience the real thing that you should when you go to study. So I would suggest যে those who are looking for planning to go abroad to study, please sit with your family, especially with your earning parent who is going to sponsor you, to understand how much they can pay for you and তুমি কতটা afford করতে পারবে, and then accordingly choose the institution like that as well. I think.
Definitely. So now coming back to Bangladesh, when you join the industry and start as a fresher, so ওই time period তো different ছিল obviously, but what are the skills or things you find যে হয়তো this are the guidance যেটা দিলে হয়তো বেটার হতো আমাকে, বা গাইডেন্সটা দরকার ছিল বা ফ্রেশার্সদের জন্য দরকার হয়, as a freshers what you felt?
I think we as Bangladeshi students আমরা যখন বাইরে যাই, বাইরে একটা জিনিস খুব হেল্প করে বিল্ড করতে, দ্যাট ইজ কনফিডেন্স in communication skills. Again, not taking away any credit from the Bangladeshi universities. আমরা যে ইউনিভার্সিটিগুলোতে পড়ি, the academically যে এডুকেশনগুলো আমাদেরকে দিচ্ছে not necessarily is building confidence in us. It's too much theoretical, I feel sometimes. Real life world এর practical যে এক্সপিরিয়েন্সগুলো এগুলো কিন্তু ইউনিভার্সিটিতে বাংলাদেশে অত পাওয়া যায় না। But things have changed now. I'm talking about my time. তখন it was very different. So when I studied abroad and I came back, I had the confidence to stand in front of a board of interviewers. I when I was going for an interview, I wasn't feeling like nervous and all those things. I felt like I had the confidence to talk and speak, which I genuinely give the credit to that my experience outside in studying. That they give you that confidence, definitely. So as a fresher, I would say communication skill টা আমাকে definitely help করছে to actually bypass that phase where আমি একটা job খুঁজতেছি and jobটা finally land করলাম. Because I'm at a stage of my career where I'm interviewing people, right?
Yeah.
So when I interview people, the first thing I look at it is when that person enters the room, how confident is that person? A simple body posture, how you sit in an interview can tell you whether that person is nervous or whether that person is confident. So এইসব জিনিসগুলো I think is something that will definitely help you land up a job as a fresher, to show that even if you have no experience at all, যে আমি কোথাও কাজ করি নাই আগে, but you make them feel comfortable the other side of the interview board, যে না, if I hire that boy, he is going to be an asset, not a liability. So yeah, I think that's something I want to recommend.
That's very important.
Yeah.
So tell me about something যেখানে you were a marketing and HR grad. And then shifting to a hotel side, being a hotelier.
Yeah.
So বাংলাদেশে কিন্তু conception এমনিও আছে যে হচ্ছে হোটেল ম্যানেজমেন্টই পড়া লাগে। Because I know my where I work in my university, so there's a course of fashion marketing. So when I talk about fashion marketing with my students, they were like, no, I'm fashion designing as the China. So it's a concept that fashion, maybe fashion designing, marketing is a different term attached with this, and it's very interesting with working with brands. So এই যে misconceptionটা আছে বাংলাদেশে স্টাডি নিয়ে যে different background থেকে এসে hotelier হওয়া যায় এবং shine করা যায়. So what are the challenges you face?
So it's interesting that you bring up the topic, because I always share this story to everybody, because just randomly asking you, Sadia, when you graduated, if I can ask you, Jay, over the top of your head, what were some of the careers that you wanted to think? Top 5 was কারো কি হোটেল থাকে?
No.
না, আমারও ছিল না। হোটেল কিন্তু আমরা কেউ ভাবি না, হ্যাঁ। But surprisingly, in one of the major courses of marketing, if you study in any of the universities in Bangladesh, there's a course called services marketing. And services marketing এ কিন্তু হোটেলের অনেক বড় একটা অ্যাসপেক্ট আছে যেখানে পড়ায়। How hotel business is. It's one of the biggest service industry, hotels যেটা বলে। বাট কিন্তু কারো ক্যারিয়ার পার্সুতে কিন্তু হোটেল মাথায় থাকে না,
একদমই থাকে না।
Same thing with me. If I tell you right now in your podcast, I always wanted to become a hotel, absolutely not. When I came back, my intention was just like any other young graduate boy who came from abroad, MNCs, multinational companyতে যদি একটা ভালো জব পায়. And as I said, I did my internship at British American Tobacco. So when I came back, I started, trying to reach out to all the senior bhaias, jaderke chintam je if there is any opportunity. Of course, go through the formal channel of application. Unilever was there. That's another big company. They're giving out so many opportunities to management trainees and everything. But so I was open to the idea যে let me see যে আমি যে পড়াশোনাটা করে আসছি মার্কেটিংটা, বিকজ ব্যাচেলার্সে তো মার্কেটিং HR ছিল, I was confused, I didn't know what to do, but মাস্টার্স I had a clear vision. And that's where I believe বাইরের ইউনিভার্সিটি does a great job better than the local মানে বাংলাদেশ ইউনিভার্সিটি, যে ওরা ক্যারিয়ার পার্টটা কিন্তু সেট করে দেয় তোমাকে,
ক্যারিয়ার কাউন্সিলরও থাকে।
Wonderful, yes. These are the little things I think Bangladesh still is a little behind, and I really would want to see আমাদের ইউনিভার্সিটিগুলো যে এই ক্যারিয়ার কাউন্সিলিং, তারপরে your own tutor, একটা টিউটার অ্যাসাইন করে দেয় for your entire period of time you're studying, which is really helpful. So ওই ভিশনটা ওখানে ক্রিয়েট হয়ে গেছে যে I'm a marketing and sales guy. I want to focus on that. And when I came back, I was just randomly looking into BD jobs, and I started applying to positions that I felt, these are the positions I would do good in. And then I saw a job ad in BD Jobs which was saying public relations manager. And I did not even see the institution. I saw the job designation. And it says PR manager, public relations. When I clicked on it, when I see the job responsibilities, it everything that all the bullet points it was mentioning, it was going with me.
Yeah.
They wanted somebody who was confident enough to speak as a spokesperson for the organization you're going to work for. You need to have good communication skills. You need to do a lot of marketing plans and strategies. So, I mean, I was like ticking off. So that's how I chose, job ta dekhar pore, description dekhar pore, then I research আচ্ছা এখন দেখি কোম্পানি কোনটা সো যখন কোম্পানি তখন দেখলাম ইট ওয়াজ প্যান প্যাসিফিক সোনারগাঁ
ওকে
সো আমি যখন অ্যাপ্লাই করি তারপর আমি অ্যাপ্লাই করার পরে দেখলাম ওয়ান ডে আই গট আ কল from Pan Pacific saying you have applied and would you like to come for an interview. I said yes, and I did not tell my parents যে আমি কোথায় যাচ্ছি কি. And that was my first interview after I came back. Trust me, I did not go to any other interview.
Okay.
ওই যেটা বললাম না, if you are focused যে কি করতে চাই তাহলে ওখানে কিন্তু automatically you will be able to somehow land your job. So আমি ওখানে তারপরে যাওয়ার পরে ইন্টারভিউ দেওয়ার পরে the entire interview board kept on asking me one thing যে আপনার তো কোনো হোটেল এক্সপিরিয়েন্স নেই.
Okay.
Everybody or whoever was there in the interview, they kept on saying আপনার তো কোনো হোটেল এক্সপিরিয়েন্স নেই. তা আমি বার বলছি আমার এক্সপিরিয়েন্স আমাকে ডাকলেন কেন? You call me. It was not like আমি তো I called and begged যে please I want to come and do the job in the hotel. No. So I'm বললাম just the job description that I saw in the ad and the position you are hiring for, I really don't think you need a hotel experience or a hotel background.
Exactly.
And they were like, we also see your education. আপনি তো কোনো হোটেলের পড়াশোনা, হোটেল হসপিটালিটি ম্যানেজমেন্ট এগুলোর উপরে কিছু না. আমি বললাম যে স্যার ওটা কেন লাগবে? বিকজ আই বিলিভ যে কোর ফাংশন যেটার জন্য যাচ্ছেন ওগুলোর জন্য আমার এক্সপিরিয়েন্সও আছে, প্লাস আমার এডুকেশনাল ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড ওটাতে আছে. And I believe, yes, some way or the other, you also need that luck. You need that organization to believe in you to give that opportunity.
Exactly.
তারা যদি তখন আমাকে সেই অপরচুনিটিটা না দিত, সাদিয়া, I don't really think I would be where I am right now in this industry. It's been more than a decade that I've served in hotels. So ওই initial opportunity একটা লাখেরও একটু ব্যাপার. So they felt, this boy is saying, why not give him an opportunity? So they gave me that opportunity. I never treated it as a hotel job.
Yeah.
I treated it as a public relations manager job. I remember I went back home and I told my parents, I got a job. And obviously, like any other parents, they were very happy. So, and when they asked me, Kothai? So I said, Sonaga Hotelier. And just like any typical mother, my mother was like, Hotelier? Hotelier ki korbi? I'm like, I'm looking at her and she's like, you know what she's trying to say again, please, with all due respect to anybody and whoever works in hotels, একটা taboo mentality. ওই হোটেলে তো হাউসকিপিং, হোটেলে তো ফুড অ্যান্ড বেভারেজ ওয়েটার. তো মাই মাদার ওয়াজ রিয়েলি স্যাড যে আল্লাহ এত কষ্ট করে আমার ছেলে পড়াশোনা করে হোটেলে কি করবে. So this is something you need to, educate people. The hotel industry is so diverse. কত opportunity আছে. Of course, then when I started my job, my mother realized what I was doing. My parents also slowly got the grasp of it. The hotel industry is something that you can pursue a career with marketing and sales background. So that's how my work started. My work life started in hotels, and I felt extremely passionate about it. I think it's an industry where one of the very few industries in the world, I would say, that is very dynamic. And by the word dynamic, I mean is every day in the hotel something is new. It's not monotonous like
that keep you hooked to your job and your role.
Excuse me. Yes. I'm somebody who would not do good in a desk job where I know সকাল থেকে 9টা থেকে 5টা আমার কি করতে হবে. That doesn't excite me. And again, I'm not targeting any specific job or any industry, which indirectly sometimes people think যে আমি কোনটা বলতেছি, but it doesn't excite me. And for some people that's okay. Some people are like I am very comfortable knowing যে আমি সকাল 9টা থেকে 5টা কি করব, so I'm going to that industry. I'm not. I am somebody who would like to know every day something new.
Yeah.
And trust me, hotels every day, সকালে উঠা থেকে you have no clue what's going to happen because you serve guests
Yeah.
and every guest is different. Nobody is the same. So কি হবে কিরকম মানে কোন গেস্টকে কিভাবে সার্ভ করতে হবে, these are little dynamics. Of course there are terminology I'm not using. Occupancy বলেন, average rate of the hotel rooms, আর সবাই মনে করে হোটেল মানেই রুম, তা কিন্তু না। ফুড অ্যান্ড বেভারেজের একটা হিউজ ডিপার্টমেন্ট আছে, ইভেন্টসে থাকে, কেটারিং থাকে। So there's so many aspects of the hotel industry that you can be hooked to. And I would tell anybody who wants to pursue a career in hotels, if you want to be successful, be passionate about it.
So can you tell us more about যে যারা নতুন জয়েন করছে, like you told us about যে confidently interview দিতে হয়, okay fine, but hotelier হিসেবে যারা জয়েন করতে চাচ্ছে, অন্য ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড থেকে এসেছে বা সেম হসপিটালিটি ম্যানেজমেন্টে পড়ে এসেছে, সো কি পয়েন্টসগুলো আছে যে ওদের মেনটেন করতে হবে to crack a job?
Right. A few of the skills that are utmost required in the service and hospitality industry, I would say one is presentation skills. That goes without saying because you're somebody who is going to be on face with customers daily and clients and guests. So you need to be presentable. You need to know how you carry yourself. And when I say presentation skills, it doesn't mean that you'll have a huge slide and you present in front of the your university cohort. No, that's not what I mean. What I'm trying to say is how you present yourself, how you will be portraying yourself in front of your clients and guests. So that's something that you need to crack. Second, I would say communication skills. If you genuinely feel that you're a very introverted person, hotel industry is not for you. Yes, I mean it can be if you are from a finance background, let's say, and you're somebody who would like to work behind the scene in the hotels. Hotels in the finance is a huge department, which you need to actually look after. So in that retrospect, yes, but outrightly jeta bollam je introverted people is not suitable for hotels. They're more suitable, I think, for jobs behind the desk
or MNC or
একটু extrovert হলে better হয়. Another one I would say, I think communication to, of course, has to be there. To introvert and communication, I mean, coincides together. So it you need to look after if you really want to be successful in hotels.
সো এখন যদি আমি আস্ক করি যে এটা তো ফ্রেশার্সদের জন্য ছিল, যারা মিড লেভেলে আছে, সাপোজ কোনো না কোনো ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে আছে বা অন্য কোনো হোটেলে আছে, বড় হোটেলে শিফট করতে চাচ্ছে, এক্সপিরিয়েন্স মেবি ওরকম নাই, সো মিড লেভেলের জন্য হোয়াট ইউ উইল সাজেস্ট ডিফারেন্ট লাইক ইন্ডাস্ট্রি চেঞ্জ করা বা টু গ্রোথ ক্যারিয়ারে যারা খুঁজছে তাদের জন্য হোয়াট স্কিলস ডেভেলপমেন্ট অর হোয়াট প্রেজেন্টেশন হোক অর ইন্টারভিউতে যে কোয়েশ্চেন্স প্যাটার্ন হোক, হোয়াট you as a recruiter look for?
I think mid-level career is different when it comes to interviews. It's more to do with experience. I think by then you have already proven yourself. And mid-level career যখন we are hiring, let's say managerial or senior manager position, it's more to do with the fact your experience and your list of so হোটেলে আমরা যেটা বলি যে সেলসের সাইডে যখন when we are hiring, we want to see the list of accounts or the corporates that particular manager has contacts with that can bring in business. হোটেলের একটা মিসকনসেপশন আছে যে সবাই মনে করে যে you go online, you book a room, that's it. But হোটেলের মেজরিটি বিজনেস কিন্তু আসে লোকাল কর্পোরেটস থেকে। সো আমাদের যে বাংলাদেশের লোকাল অর মাল্টিন্যাশনাল কোম্পানিজ যারা অপারেট করে তাদের কিন্তু অনেক ভিজিটার ট্রাভেল হয়। বাংলাদেশে অনেকে আসে ফর ইনভেস্টমেন্টস অর হোয়াটএভার প্রজেক্টস, ইউএন বেসড বলেন বা এম্বাসির অনেক গেস্ট আসে। সো এইগুলোর সাথে কিন্তু ইউ হ্যাভ টু অ্যাকচুয়ালি কিপ কর্পোরেট লাইজ অন অ্যাজ এ সেলস পারসন আই এম সেইং। So Johan, if I'm hiring a sales manager, let's say who's moving from one hotel to another, I would be looking into that to see je tar experience she je onno hotele kaaj korchilo, what were the list of accounts or what are the list of embassies that he has connections with, and obviously if I'm bringing him on board in my hotel, I would want that boy to bring revenue to
Exactly.
the hotel. So ওইখানে কিন্তু আবার যে ইনিশিয়াল যে মানে ফ্রেশার ইন্টারভিউগুলো যেগুলো আমরা দেখি ওটা কিন্তু দেখি না, তখন ওগুলো আবার মাইনাস হয়ে যায় মিড লেভেল ক্যারিয়ারের দিকে পার্সপেক্টিভে বলবো। অফকোর্স যেটা বললাম যে হোটেল ইন্ডাস্ট্রিটা বাংলাদেশে ইজ ভেরি স্মল. It's not that as big as any other country that you might find. Of course, Dhaka city being the commercial and diplomatic hub of Bangladesh, ঢাকাতেই আমরা কিন্তু মেইনলি 5-star হোটেলগুলো দেখে থাকি. Other than that, if you go to Chittagong, you'll find probably one other 5-star
Chittagong or
hotel over
Sylhet,
there.
that's it.
Right. So এই রিজনের মধ্যে ঢাকাটাই ফোকাসড ফর হোটেলস, অ্যান্ড what we have 7 or 8 5-star hotels right now, and there are more coming up. There are a couple of more hotels that are coming up. So industry is growing, but not at the pace I would say drastically that would bring us on the level of, let's say, if you go to Bangkok, I'm pretty sure every step of the way you would find a 5-star hotel.
Exactly.
Right? If you go to KL, Kuala Lumpur, it's like that, Singapore is another example I can
Dubai.
give. Dubai is another example. So Dubai, Singapore, এইসব জায়গাতে hotel industry is massive.
Investment is good there.
Yeah, huge investment, and to be honest, ওদের আবার ইন্ডাস্ট্রিটা খুব ওয়েল সেটেল, লাইক শুধু ট্যুরিজম না, ওদের ইনভেস্টমেন্টসও আছে। আমাদের ঢাকা সিটিতে কিন্তু ট্যুরিজম নাই। You will hardly get tourists coming to Dhaka for staying in hotels. You will get mostly business professionals who are coming here for business. ট্যুরিস্টের জন্য আমার স্পট যদি আমি কক্সবাজার ধরি, রাইট, সো কক্সবাজারে কিন্তু ট্যুরিস্ট আমার মেজরিটি আমরাই, মানে লোকাল পিপল। ইউ উইল নট, আনফর্চুনেটলি আমাদের ট্যুরিজম ওই লেভেলে যায় না, উইচ আই রিয়েলি হোপ ইট উইল চেঞ্জ ওয়ান ডে অ্যান্ড উই উইল বিকাম আ ডেস্টিনেশন ফর ট্যুরিজম এজ ওয়েল, বাট অতটা হয়নি এখনো। সো আই উড সে যে ইন্ডাস্ট্রিটা তো যদি যত বড় হবে, পিপল উইল বি মোর ইন্টারেস্টেড, দেয়ার উইল বি মোর অপরচুনিটি ফর হায়ারিং.
Exactly.
And I myself would like to be a torchbearer where I would like to promote and go to people and tell them, hotel is a career you would like to pursue. It's very interesting. It's something that you would love to go every morning. I'm somebody who likes to, dress very professionally. So somebody who's not into, wearing suits is not fit for hotels. Hotel, like, you always have to wear suit and, look very professional and dapper. So these are little things that I'm pretty sure যারা চাচ্ছেন যে ফিউচারে হোটেল লাইনে আসতে চায় will definitely do good.
So that's a very interesting fact came up about the body postures or what you need to wear,
Right.
how you need to present yourself.
Right.
So can you just give a insider what Bangladesh institutions taught you, or maybe British university or institution taught you, that the difference between both the countries to develop your postures or these small skills which is very important for professionals?
Yeah, very few things that matters. I know for a fact, let's say if you're going for an interview, one of my teachers taught me that when I was abroad, any interview, whether it's a professional interview or like the one that I'm having a podcast with you right now, never fold your hands. That posture is a sign of disinterest. Whatever I'm doing right now, whether I'm giving an interview for a professional career or even an interview like this, that is telling me the other person, I'm not very interested. You should not fold your hands. You should be always welcoming. Either you can put your hands like this or this, but do not fold your hands. And of course, another thing is grooming is something I think is very, very important in the corporate culture. এই জিনিসটা আসলে কোনো ইউনিভার্সিটি শেখায় না। হ্যাঁ, এটা কখন শিখি? যখন আমরা একটা কোম্পানি জয়েন করি, ওই কোম্পানির যে অবভিয়াসলি এইচআর এর সাইডের কর্পোরেট কালচার আছে, ওখান থেকে কিন্তু তখন ট্রেনিং যখন করি তখন কিন্তু বলে, especially I think in the hospitality industry, grooming is something that is very well taught, and whoever gets out eventually from this industry or grows in this industry, grooming jinishta is very important. We see every now and then people coming into office early morning, which is a norm. সকালবেলা তো অফিসে সবারই যেতে হয়, But if you come in a very untidy manner, with not properly combed hair or even facial grooming, of course, it's okay to keep a beard, but people expect you to, be properly groomed and, come early morning with a fresh look. If you have that jaded look, in your face when you're coming to work, your own cohort, your own colleagues won't feel like, doing work with you, let alone, serving the guests. So I think grooming is another thing that I think is very important when it comes to corporate culture and hotels. So yeah, I mean, these are the little things that.
And I know this is very important in service industry because I'm in service industry as well. Keeping your calm.
Yes, very much so. Because, as I said, every guest is different. We all have a panic point, I think, saturation point, যেখানে we lose our temper. But in service industry and hospitality industry, you have to keep your calm. I do not necessarily agree with the phrase that which a lot of people use is guest is God. I don't agree with it. They don't have to be God, that you bow your head to everything and anything they say. If they are wrong, there is a way to educate that client or guest that, sir or madam, you're wrong. This is how it is. But in a very humble way, in a very nice way, you can actually go ahead and say. But yes, keeping your calm is very, very important in the service industry. You cannot lose your demeanor. Knowing your role, what you are hired for that hotel or organization, you always have to maintain calm and peace in your mind. I'm not. Interesting point I can mention here is one of my general managers I worked with in my professional career. Peace be upon him, he's passed away. He was an American GM. And I remember one day I went to the hotel and I was not feeling well, or something had happened back home. So it showed on my face, and it was like, I'm not feeling well. So the GM saw it. And the general manager basically is the main guy of the hotel. He leads the hotel team. And he called me in the lobby. He just saw me and he called me in the lobby. He said, Salman, what's wrong? Is everything okay? And I said, sir, not really. I'm not feeling too well. And he's like, is it physically or something happening back home? I said, sir, both. I mean, physically I'm not feeling well. And, I'm stuff personal reasons. যে কারণে আমার আসলে একটু ভালো লাগছে না. So he just said, go home. Why did you come? I'm বললাম, no, I'm okay to work. That's nothing. I mean, মানে অসুস্থ না. I mean, I'm fine. What's no. I don't care তুমি অসুস্থ না নাকি না. If the moment you step foot in the hotel, you have to have a smile on your face. I don't care what's happening in your background. That's your job. So if you are not able to put up that smile on your face that is required by this institution, please do not enter. Whatever reasons it may be. And he actually, I had to leave that day because I was not being able to put up a smile on my face. And he's right, because আমার কি চলছে ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডে, what is happening with me, the guest will not understand that. The guest expects me to give him the finest service for which he's paying the money. And it has to be worth the value of that service. So I went back and I realized that was a very good teaching that day I got. Whichever job you're doing, you need to understand your role, what you're hired for. And if you go knowingly যে না আমি actually আজকে ওইটা perform করতে পারবো না, I won't be able to do that function, then you shouldn't go. You shouldn't, or maybe you even shouldn't pursue that career. Sometimes we see, unfortunately, very good individuals go into a different industry or an office যেখানে ও আসলে fit না. He's trying to still figure out, but don't waste time there. You're not happy and you're not being able to put up that face that is required by that. And so you're actually causing not only yourself the problem, but institutional the problem. So I think that's something very important I learned.
Yeah, so that's another question I often ask, to my guests, that how to choose your perfect career. Because when in my career I joined, I had no idea, no clue that this will click. But অনেকের জন্য হয় যে ক্লিক করে না, কিছু চাচ্ছে ডিফারেন্ট হয়ে যাচ্ছে. So how to understand oneself, like আমি কি চাচ্ছি, আমার কি মানে ক্যাটাগরিজ আছে যেগুলোতে আমি এই ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে ফিট করব। সো ফ্রম ইয়োর পার্সপেক্টিভ একটা মানুষকে কি দেখা উচিত ক্যারিয়ার চুজ করার আগে?
আই থিঙ্ক ওই তো দেন কামস দ্য কোয়েশ্চেন যে এডুকেশন কি করলাম। হ্যাঁ, পড়াশোনাটাই তো ওইখানেই তো আমার ফাউন্ডেশনটা লে করে।
প্যারেন্টসরা ডিসাইড করে।
হ্যাঁ, সো এখন পড়াশোনা ওখানে আনফর্চুনেটলি ইটস এ ভেরি ট্রু থিং ইন আওয়ার কালচার যে প্যারেন্টসরা কিন্তু বলে যে বাবা এই লাইনে যাও। I remember I wanted to study economics, and I wasn't very good at it, but I was very excited by concept of economics. And then my father comes to me and is like, "Are you good at it?" I would say, "No, I'm not so good at it, but আমার খুব ভালো লাগে." বাবা বলছে, ভালো লাগা দিয়ে তো ক্যারিয়ার হবে না বাবা। So please focus and understand যে কী হবে। And thankfully he did not push me into business marketing. আমিও আবার দেখলাম আচ্ছা এটা তো ভালো করতেছি না। ভালো লাগা আর ভালো করা is two different things. সো ভালো করতেছি আবার কোনটায়, তখন দেখলাম যে না, মার্কেটিং অ্যান্ড সেলস ইজ সামথিং দ্যাট আই এম ডুইং ওয়েল অ্যাকাডেমিক্যালি। সো তখন ওইটা ন্যাচারালি আই ফেল্ট লাইক এখানে অ্যাকাডেমিক্যালি ভালো করলে তো প্রফেশনালি ওখানে আমি ফিট হয়েই যাব। বাট ইউর রাইট, I mean you need to sometimes even fail to understand what is the right path for you. So in my career path in the middle, there was a phase where I was in Canada. When I got an opportunity to go and live and work there. So I got a PR and then I decided to go. ওখানে যখন যাই, I just finished my work with Pan Pacific for 5 years. So 5 বছর একটা হোটেলে থেকে কিন্তু এখন I'm cultured.
Exactly.
You know, and it's something that I was passionate about. That's why I sustained so long. So I'm back of my mind is like, if I go to Canada, I would like to pursue a career in hotels, right? So ওখানে যে যখন I started researching, I realized I landed up in Toronto, but from a tourism perspective and from a hotel industry perspective, Vancouver is more happening in terms of that industry. So I went there as well to have a look যে কিরকম কি। But দেখলাম যে career prospects are not that strong. It's going to be difficult for me to land a job that I am looking forward to. হ্যাঁ, আমাদের আনফর্চুনেটলি আবার স্টার্টিং ফ্রম স্ক্র্যাচ বিকামস ডিফিকাল্ট। হ্যাঁ, বলা খুব সহজ, আমি অলরেডি স্ক্র্যাচ থেকে শুরু করে 5 বছরে আই হ্যাভ রিচড মেবি আ হেড অফ ডিপার্টমেন্ট পজিশন। এখন আবার ক্যানাডায় যে if I'm going to start from scratch in the hotel industry, আমার mentally I would not feel confident. So তখন আমি আর pursue করিনি। And then I researched যে in a city like Toronto, if I have to live and work, it's expensive. Toronto is a very expensive city to live in. So কোন industry pays you well? So research করে দেখলাম যে banking industry pays you really well.
Okay.
And with all due respect to all the bankers, I hate banks.
That's not your personality.
Oh,
as well,
no, absolutely not. So, even those my friends who are in banks right now doing wonderfully well and exceptionally great careers, ওদের সাথে আমি কথা বলে আমি বললাম ব্যাংকে আমি না, ব্যাংক is not for me. But ঘুরে ফিরে দেখলাম কি ব্যাংকিং ইন্ডাস্ট্রি at that time in Canada it was doing really well. তা আমি তখন কি করলাম, Sadia, I immediately started applying for banks.
Okay.
So imagine somebody who has no educational background when it comes to finance or accounting, and then all of a sudden I'm trying to shift my career to an industry which I also don't like, was actually a need of that moment, I believe. And when I joined, I successfully eventually landed up a job in banks. And one of the very big financial institution in Toronto. So ওখানে যখন ব্যাংকে জয়েন করলাম, I realized ওখানেও কীভাবে ঘুরে ফিরে ক্যারিয়ার পার্টটা ইন্টারেস্টের দিকেই নিছি যে although I joined a bank, but I was not doing the so-called bank job as in that has to do with financing or accounting side. I slowly shifted my gear to marketing and branding.
Okay.
Banker সাইডেও কিন্তু there are
দরকার হয়।
obviously departments and functions where you need to brand the product. So I started looking after the credit card section where that particular bank was coming up with new product of credit cards. So ওইটাকে launch কিভাবে করব, the entire marketing plans, to sit with the marketing team, কিভাবে promotion হবে, কিভাবে branding হবে. So again, my passion is marketing and sales, but banking industry te chilam, ঘুরে ফিরে ওখানে গেছে. So that's, I believe, is something that whoever is probably still struggling to figure out the right career opportunity, ফলো ইউর প্যাশন। যে কোনো ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে আপনি যান, ঘুরে ফিরে ইফ ইউ ফিগার আউট যে না আমার প্যাশন হলো এই পার্টিকুলার ফাংশনটা, সব ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে ওই ফাংশনটা আছে। So some way or the other, you'll be able to actually land up to that direction. And then I worked there for 3-4 years in that bank. So it's important that when you join an organization, you give loyalty.
Yeah.
এখনকার সিভি যখন দেখি, I see a lot of CVs where a young graduate who probably graduated like 2 years back, in a span of 2 years, he's probably moved in like 6 companies.
Yeah.
If that boy or a girl is thinking that that is giving me a good vibe, no. It tells me that you're not being loyal to any organization you're working for.
Even if I count my industry as well, I see 2 months, 3 months, people are moving randomly from one job to another job.
Yes.
And that's purely for money, because obviously in same industry they are lying. It's not that they are not enjoying their job. So yes, as a recruiter, when you look into that thing, it really matters or not.
It matters. Why I'm telling you this is because for me and for any organization, commitment is very important. So আপনার সিভিতে যদি আমি দেখি আপনি you're moving so many times, how will it give me the confidence that when you join me, you'll be not doing the same thing?
Exactly.
Yes, you might be selling it in a different way for the sake of getting a job. Sir, I have multiple experiences. You know, I've worked this place, that place. Wonderful. But time to দিচ্ছেন না. So আমি আপনাকে নিব, you'll be going on to the same situation. আমার এখানে 6 মাস থেকে you will utilize all the experiences I'm giving you. Honestly speaking, any job you go to, first 6 মাস তো is learning.
Honeymoon period যেটা বলে।
হ্যাঁ, তো ফার্স্ট 6 months is all about learning the entire culture of that place. তো আপনাকে আমি রেডি করলাম, now I am about to get
Benefits
the
from you.
benefits from you, and you're switching. Of course, compensation is one of the biggest factors in this day and age for you to move from one job to another. I'm not denying it, but that will harm you in the long run. যদি আপনার কম্পেনসেশনই মেইন অবজেক্টিভ থাকে to switch every time, you will never be able to find solace in your heart that I found the job. After some point you need to understand that I need to give time to an organization, not only to gain from it but to give it back to them as well. Whenever I have joined any company, I always have tried to maintain 2 to 3 years to minimum দিব, because ওই এক্সপিরিয়েন্সটা is invaluable. You will never be able to sell that anywhere else by saying যে আমি সুইচ করে করে আরো ডিফারেন্ট এক্সপিরিয়েন্স গ্যাদার করছি। নো, আই থিঙ্ক একটা পার্টিকুলার জবে থেকে একটু বেশি টাইম স্পেন্ড করে you'll be able to learn much more.
And কোম্পানিটার ইনস অ্যান্ড আউটও জানা যায়।
হ্যাঁ, ইন্ডাস্ট্রি itself, company itself. And as I said, আমাদের কর্পোরেট কালচার তো বাংলাদেশে is loyalty is very, very important, because organizations nowadays are putting in a lot of money to hire candidates. আগেরকার সময় বাবাদের সময় শুনতাম যে স্যালারি ইনক্রিমেন্টও হইতে নাকি 2-3 বছর বেশি লেগেছে। আমাদের তো এখন 1 বছর পার হয়ে গেলে আমরা উই পুট প্রেশার অন দি HR যে হোয়াটস মাই ক্যারিয়ার গ্রোথ, এখন আর নেক্সট স্টেপ কি। সো দে আর চেঞ্জিং। বাইরের ওয়ার্ল্ডের সাথে আমরাও কিন্তু আমাদের কর্পোরেট কালচার ইজ নাও লট বেটার, আই উড সে। সো বাট প্লিজ, ফর এনি ইয়াং গ্রাজুয়েটস হুজ থিঙ্কিং যে switching job every now and then is adding to my CV, not really. I see a lot of CVs where there are pages of 3-4 pages. That's not necessarily giving you the idea যে oh my god, এত অনেক এক্সপিরিয়েন্স আছে। And abroad কিন্তু এক পেজে CV is
preferable.
They want, because they don't have an attention span of so much time who's going to go through. They're just going to quickly scan the words that that particular recruiter wants to see. So I have narrowed down my CV to 1 page. I have been in the working profession for over a decade now. It's been almost, alhamdulillah, 12 to 13 years. But even now when I'm applying for a new job, I give 1 page CV. I narrow it down. যতই রেসপন্সিবিলিটি দেখে না কেন, you should be able to know how you narrow down. You say এত টাইম নাই রিক্রুটার to see. So of course, 1 page CV যে দিলাম আর একজন যে 3 page CV দিল, তার মানে যে সে স্ট্রং, not really. So.
Great. And now coming to your new profession, which is as a real estate sector. So why this shift, and what is giving you the courage or the push to start in this sector after 10 or 12 years long career as a hotelier?
Uh, so I have not grown tired of the hotel industry. That would be a wrong way to put it. I still feel great about that, that phase of my life where I've served in the hotels. But for me, I am somebody who constantly like new challenges. I feel that we will all reach an age where after some point we'll be like আর মুভ করতে পারতেছি না, ফিজিক্যালি পারবো না, সত্যি কথা যেটা, তখন মনে হবে যে যা করতেছি ওইটাই ভালো। But if you don't challenge yourself constantly, I think you're losing out on a lot of opportunities where you can actually be even greater.
Yeah.
আমি হোটেল ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে I've started from scratch, and now I'm leaving at a time where probably I have reached a position in my career where I've felt I've justified myself. হ্যাঁ, আরও opportunities উপরে কিন্তু আছে, but does that mean আমি পরে পাবো না? No, not really. পরেও তো আবার যদি if I want to come back, again, as I come back to that point, loyalty. I have given to this industry a loyalty of almost a decade, which will allow me to come back to this industry anytime.
Definitely.
Let's say tomorrow if I don't succeed in the new career path that I'm choosing, which is real estate, if I fail, I always know that I have colleagues, cohorts who know me, who knows how I've done in this industry and would welcome me with open arms. I hope so. But the reason why I have decided now to move is I wanted to challenge myself a little bit more, and as professionals like us who are in the mid-age where we are feeling a little saturated with our work, don't feel shy from daring to move. অনেকেই দেখি যে আমার ফ্রেন্ডসদের কথাই বলবো, আমরা যারা সিমিলার এজে আছি, এনিবডি হুজ ইন দ্য রেঞ্জ অফ 35 to 40 ইচ্ছা করে একটু ডিফারেন্ট কিছু করতে, নতুন লেটস ট্রাই সামথিং, বাট একটু ভয়ও লাগে যে ভালোই তো করতেছি, কেন আবার মুভ করবো, ওয়াই টেক দ্য রিস্ক? But every now and then I believe, Sadia, you need to know your value, your worth in the market. If you somehow feel that এখন একটা ক্যারিয়ারের স্যাচুরেশন পয়েন্ট এসে গেছে যে you're not being valued any more or একটু undervalued, but I can be valued more, আমার সেই credentials আছে, আমার সেই foundation আছে, so take that step, that one additional step to see যে if you can succeed somewhere else as well. That's what prompted me. I think real estate industry is also a very, very dynamic industry and a very booming industry.
Exactly.
In the concept of Bangladesh, if you see right now. Of course, my job would be now to, enter this industry not as somebody who's, extremely confident, I know the back and forth of everything of it. No. For anybody like me in my position who is looking to move from one industry or career path to another, please know that you need to have the urge to learn. If you have no intention যে আমি নতুন করে আবার শিখবো না, then don't move.
সেলফ এন্টাইটেলমেন্ট, দ্যাটস হোয়াট আই সে, বাংলাদেশীদের থাকে একটা।
হ্যাঁ,
আমি তো জানি।
হ্যাঁ। সো অফকোর্স আমি রিয়েল এস্টেট তো ফ্রেন্ডসদের সাথে ঘুরি, আশেপাশে সব দেখছি কি হচ্ছে, তা আমি তো জানি, বলা খুব ইজি, বাট আমি যদি রিয়েলি ইফ আই ওয়ান্ট টু সাকসিড, আই নিড টু হ্যাভ the willingness to learn the art of that industry. And I'm somebody from a very early of my career, I've always been able to, open myself to learning. And I genuinely feel there is no age to learning. Even at the time of your retirement, there is something you can learn new. কত কিছু আছে, and my biggest motivation and I'm sure in any son's motivation have always been their fathers. My father has always been my idol figure. If anything I learned from him was commitment and learning. He constantly wanted to learn. And he coming from a humble background. My father studied in Dhaka University. He did his M.Com, পড়াশোনা করে ভিলেজ থেকে এসে and stuff. But when আমি যখন ইংলিশ মিডিয়ামে পড়াশোনা করে, when I used to conversate with him, I used to say at the early stage of Baba Shazam কথা বলতে, he was not very strong in English.
Yeah.
And যখন later stage আসলাম, when I started my university life, my father was very fluent in English.
Nice. So he learned it.
He learned it. He basically realized, if I want to have that bond with my son, and if I want to grow in my career, that's something that I need to learn, and do better. And I've seen him grow, in a company where he started probably as a mere normal person, as a very starting level job, and then he became a senior vice president in that company because he had the willingness to learn.
Develop
যে
himself.
with times have changed, এখন communication is about English and everything, তখন কি আর স্কুলে যাবে, তখন কি আর university? No, he has to learn it. So ওই willingness to learn থাকতে হবে, and that will help you a lot. So I'm taking this step now to move to the real estate industry because I'm willing to learn the art of it, and hopefully, inshallah, how my luck has favored me in the hospitality industry. If I'm committed, if I'm dedicated and work hard, I'm hoping যে ইনশাল্লাহ আমি এই রিয়েল এস্টেট লাইনেও ভালো করব.
Amazing. We hope that too. And maybe in our next podcast, we can learn more about your experience in real estate that time.
Sure,
Yeah.
of course.
And if we end our podcast, so I just wanted to highlight and ask this thing, that how important networking, because you were mentioning যে কখনো যদি back করতে হয়, I know I do have those connections, colleagues.
Right.
So as a freshers or mid-level or at this very senior level, how important it is to have networking and how important it is to understand the networking level. Because if I talk about my findings, I got lots of messages in LinkedIn as well, where there are many talented persons, but I can't connect with them, that I can't help them.
Yeah.
Because they are from different industry, different expertise আছে তাদের. So I can't, even if I want, I can't help them. So how important it is to connect with your industry people and know whom to connect and whom to grow.
Yeah, very important. I mean, networking is something millennials is something that are very good at. But I think you need to know the right platform as well to network. I necessarily feel LinkedIn is something that people underutilize.
Yeah.
They should be utilizing it much more. LinkedIn kintu is such a huge platform to connect, I think, where you can have so many resources. There is open, educational and career portfolios যেখানে it will help you to learn, ওখানে. But don't stop yourself from dropping a message to anybody. I think in this day and age, anybody who's doing reasonably well in their career would like to help out.
Yeah.
I haven't found anybody that I have reached out has outrightly completely avoided me.
Yeah.
আমি তো যে যখন যার কাছে অপরচুনিটি পেয়েছি, ইভেন ইজ সামবডি ফ্রম আ ডিফারেন্ট ইন্ডাস্ট্রি, একটু স্লাইটলি নক করলেও কিন্তু রিপ্লাই দেয়.
Exactly.
অফকোর্স এভরিবডি ইজ বিজি, বাট নোবডি ইজ সো বিজি যে এট সাম পয়েন্ট দেবে না. যদি রিপ্লাই নাই দিয়ে থাকে, দেন ডোন্ট পারসিউ দ্যাট পারসন. একজনই তো না, দের ইজ সো মেনি আদার পিপল, রাইট? অ্যাজ আই সেড, I worked in hotels. Hotelier একটা হিউজ সাইড হলো connecting with embassies. So I would any day would like to keep that network wherever I go. Embassies are very important in life, where if you connect with them, if you have a good network, the ambassadors, the senior officials who work in the embassies, it's going to be very helpful for you in the future. You never know when you might require them.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So networking, of course, people who think they will be able to build a career and become successful without networking, is you are fooling yourself. In your journey of success, you will not be able to, go and reach the pinnacle all by yourself.
Yeah.
You will need people who will be there to support you.
Definitely.
The right people, of course. So please, networking kora is very important. You every now and then reach out to people through social media. And I'm not saying LinkedIn only. Facebook is fine as well. If you would like to know a personality, drop them a message. They would wholeheartedly, be able to guide you or tell you a little thing that might help you anywhere.
Yeah.
And I would also reach out to people, Jara Arki, those who are in positions can actually help people. Please
Yeah.
do that. I mean, there are a lot of young talents in Bangladesh who can do tremendously well. They're probably just looking for the right opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, and when I go through sometimes CVs, আমার নিজেরই খারাপ লাগে যে this person who's applying here is probably desperate to find a job, but is not getting the right job. You know, and I don't hesitate if I see a CV and I know Jana, he's not or she's not fit for my job, but I know this person can be actually very good somewhere else.
Yeah.
So আমি কিন্তু তখন immediately what? It's just a WhatsApp away.
Yeah.
I would, just, take that CV and WhatsApp to a friend, say, you take this boy or you take this girl.
Nice, amazing.
So I think that's very important. Whosoever can help anybody, please do that. It's really important.
And any ending note for our viewers?
Ending note ki bolbo. As I said, really appreciate you calling me here, and I genuinely feel at the very start of the podcast, I told you, successful is a very big term. There's way more for me to achieve to actually be familiar with that term. But if I'm here today, I believe whatever I have achieved in my small career, আজকে পডকাস্টে যতটুকু ইনফরমেশন যা শেয়ার করেছি, it's gonna some way or the other help out some of the people or your viewers who are going to be watching it. And of course, you can reach out to me anytime on LinkedIn or Facebook, whosoever would like to actually know more about me or get a little bit more information about careers in different fields. So thank you so much again, and I wish you all the best with this channel. I believe this is something that's going to be doing wonders for a new generation.
Thank you, and we are very lucky to have you here.
Thank you so much.